here at Rock and Roll Mine. This is WROX, and I'm Sean Adam, your host. We had a big rain last night, and we're just gonna kind of walk around, looking on the ground, to see what we can find. Not gonna get into any mining. With tools. We're just gonna cruise around, see what's in the tailings. Kind of walked around yesterday a little bit while it was raining and found a little handful of gems. It rained enough so that the spring water is flowing a little bit more than it has been. Let's check it out. I got some coffee. Got a safety meeting. I just saw something shiny. Maybe right here. It's just a piece of broken glass. Quite a bit of that in this area right here. It's kind of why it's the walkway. All right, let's keep it moving. Some areas that have been dragged out. Quite a bit of water pooling up around. So, seems like it really rained and rained. We're still doing this thing. It's early, it's like 9 a.m. here in Herkimer County. It's 67 degrees and slightly overcast. Some of that might be Canada still being on fire. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell which is which, but we're going to throw that in there. And I got my coffee tucked under my arm. Here we are. Let's zoom this out a little bit. Okay, now that we did certain things, I think we're ready to find some really, really tiny gemmy crystals. I think we're ready to activate the plan. Seems like it. That's a nice little one. Okay. I expect that we're going to find quite a few of those glimmery, shiny babies. I forgot the crystal tube, so I'm just going to start shoving them in my pocket. And we'll have to empty the pocket later. Crystal tube is so much better. All right, we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna find a crystal in the tailings. It's not impossible. Happens all the time. Little tinies. Sometimes a bigger one will pop out. You never know. Anything can happen. Dragging out all this stuff from off the mountain, dragging it down, letting it rain, kind of go through it every once in a while. Find some nice ones that you missed, somebody else missed. Far, far, far in the past. A long time ago. You just gotta walk around. You know, the closer to the ground that you are, the better off you're gonna be. Kind of bob and weave a little bit. Like you're a boxer back in the 1950s, bobbing and weaving style. There's a little one. Let's see if I can make this camera look a little bit more sturdy. It's just a little one. Most of them are gonna be little ones. That's just how rock and roll tailings are. Find little gemmy ones, and some people that mine, especially with machines, you'll see that they pull these bigger crystals out of their tailings. It's primarily because they're dragging pockets and pulling with the machines some of the crystals away from a pocket. There's a few right around in here. Here's another little, very small one. And I'm just gonna gather up a bunch of these little small gemmy ones. And when I say small, I mean tiny, very tiny. There's 3. But all these little tiny ones, they're good. can be used for jewelry. There's another one. Yeah, we pretty much tend to sell the larger crystals to people who would like to have them, and keep a lot of these really small gemmy ones for jewelry. And dropping. We keep them to drop them. That was a little percher. It's got a little kind of a touch point on the base. Double terminated, but flat on one side. Here's a little spectacular piece of druze. It's chainsaw day. Here's another little spectacular piece of druze. I love these little pieces like this. I think everyone's gonna be happy when they see what we do with all of this. Here's another. And this is just I'm on right now the walkway up to one part. Here's another little, oops, here's another tiny. Nope, that was just a piece of druze. And yeah, these are all tiny. Look, I'm putting out a disclaimer. Disclaiming. These are tiny. There's one. Kind of a chunk of one, maybe, piece. Kind of cool. Always look under your feet, under your knee. Anything that just, see, I just did it right there. I just scraped with my foot and the face of a crystal was just cleaned off. That's why you'll always find crystals walking behind people to the mine, from the mine. Their foot will just scrape off a little bit of a, you find them in the road. So all kinds of people around here. Oh, I remember when we used to find them in the road. Well, it's because you had dirt roads that were paved with limestone. And then the cars would go around, do a couple donuts in a Ford F-150. Next thing you know, there's crystals there. It's not because your fucking F-150 is magical. I've never met a magical F-150. We had a magical F-100. Now that, I will say, that was magical. That was a magical machine. And I say we had because I sold it to my buddy who likes Fords a lot. $1969. F100 First Series Ford Ranger. Cool truck. Short bed. And that's a rock. I think I grabbed the wrong thing. I was going for something shiny, and I grabbed the wrong thing. Now it's covered up, and I don't know where it's at. So you just keep it moving. Looking for more shiny things. What about over here? More tiny shinies. Where am I? I'm in Herkimer County. Herkimer County. Okay, we're getting crystals. Where are we? We're in a New York state of mind. Oh, that one's kind of cool and elongated. We're in chainsaw country. Oh, man. People just love, they need to have their voices heard, They just need to have their voices heard. And if you got a chainsaw, by God, saw something up. Saw everything up. If you got a chainsaw, never cut anything with a knife ever again. Just fucking chainsaw it. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich, chainsaw. Here's a tiny little crystal. Okay, that's not even barely visible to the human eye, but I am... Oh, never mind. We're not going to talk about that today. There's one or two little small ones. Do two small ones equal one better size one? Really, that's only one. I tricked myself. But I'm not trying to trick you, so I have to come clean. Next thing I know, everybody on the internet will be talking about how Sean said one tiny ass little almost nothing of a crystal was two crystals. He's a liar. Okay. Here's something sitting right here, right? You can see you got all this water coming down. And see how it just cleaned off this one little crystal right here, just this little baby one. Nestled right between those two, between two rocks. Kind of like that Galafanakis show between two ferns, but it's just a little bit different. That's a cool little carbon black tip shark. I used to see those sharks Haven't seen one in a while. Cocoa Beach. They got those sharks. Oh, there's a few little tinies right here. Wait, where is it? Where's my finger? Right there. These are all just super tiny little gemmy. Perfectly clear. I don't even know if the camera can properly pick it up. But these are all good jewelry pieces. And I'm sure there's some super industrial way that I could extract all of them at once. And I'm sure that there are people out there that think that that's a better way to do it, but honestly, I just hang out, wait for it to rain, let these little babies pop out of the ground. And then turn on a crappy camera with a broken screen, and now we're having fun. Finding a bunch of... Look, I just walked right by this one. The other direction. There was no shimmery shine. That's why you gotta turn around and look. Sometimes, every once in a while, just turn around, look behind you. That one's a little bit, it's a little cloudy. It's a little white, milky. It's okay. We're not judging it. Wait, yes we are. We are judging it. But, you know, we're gonna do it nicely. We're gonna say that it's pretty, it's just not perfect. It is perfectly itself. Here's a very small thing between two rocks. See how it does that? We got a little dam here, and this little crystal got caught up in there, and then the water went over it and made it beautiful. But only one part of it is beautiful. But that's all you gotta see. You just gotta see that. Boop, 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 boop. Little signal from space. Quantum entanglement says, never mind. Sorry, it's too early in the morning for that. Well, here's a couple of things that we just found, and they're a good example of how different beautiful things can be similar, yet very different. Like me and you and me. You choose. It's the same decision. But you do it your way. You can look in the side of the little, you might find some plastic. You could find a rotting berry or a rock. And in all of this, you have to find the shiny things. So sometimes you want to go from different angles, and sometimes the sun is gonna create a little shimmer on something. So you want to keep the sun to your back, but also sometimes go the opposite direction so that you're looking down the mountain. The sun is reflecting a little bit different. Little signals. We're just finding tinies, you know, we're not looking, we're not, I'm not trying to act like we're finding gigantic crystals. We're not. We're just not. It's not what we're here for right now. You know, sometimes I do that. It's an exercise in intention. What is my intention? Do I have to pick up the tools because I intend to insert intention here? We'll do it like a choose your own adventure or a wacky Mad Lib. Here's an interesting bottle. I found that in the tailings. It looks like it used to be for balsamic vinaigrette of some type. It's probably not that old. It's probably from the 1970s, 1960s. Let's give it a few. 1950s. There. There's no possibility of us being wrong then. Just make a 30-year span guess. Bottles don't care. Bottles and cans, and just clap your hands. Just clap your hands. Because where it's at, I got 2 turntables and a microphone. We got worms cruising. We got fuzzy caterpillars that sting. We got millipedes, centipedes, various random weirdos. I don't know where they were before, but now they're here. Okay, enough of that one. Let's check out this one. It's like, yo, that's a millipede hugging a slug. What are they even doing? They're just hanging out. If that millipede goes for a ride on that slug, that's gonna be genius. Yeah, just fucking drive the slug, millipede. It'll be like Dune, the movie. Okay, moving on. Drips, here we are, okay. We're at drips. Okay. See, if there weren't any Herkimer diamonds in there, you probably could barely see them. I think we've successfully investigated. There's none. Okay, we're gonna keep it moving. That was the beautiful nature shot. And now we just gotta get back to looking for treasures. As small as they may be. Who loves tiny crystals? Let me hear you say, oh. Who loves baby gems? Let me hear you say, hey. Who knows, maybe we'll find a bigger one. Yo, I need a hype man. Maybe I can get Cypress Hill. I might need more. I might need a whole band. Because, I mean, when I just did that, it was pretty cool. But if, like, Cypress Hill did it, man. That shit would be on point. Okay, here's a cool piece of white druze that is amazing and beautiful. And I know that you might not love this as much as I do, which is, you know, it's okay. We all have our own mineral collecting goals. But this is a really, really rare kind of bleach white druze that I find here. And when it's separated away from the host rock in this particular way, it does a cool thing where it gets whiter and a little smoky also from shadowing behind it. It does a cool thing. Cool for, well, I'm not going to tell you what it's cool for because that's a secret, but, well, since we're friends, I'm going to tell you anyway. And, you know, it's cool for jewelry. I know, shocker. But you can insert whatever word you want instead of jewelry into that sentence if you want to make it a little more interesting for you. Okay. Some days are Mitch Hedberg days. Some days are Richard Pryor days. Some days are Norm Macdonald. But most days are Mitch Hedberg days. Hey guys, ever feel like a crackhead when you're just, you know, you're walking around, you're slumped over and you're as close to the ground as you possibly can be and you're just looking through rocks for shiny particulate matter? Ever just feel like, what am I doing with my life? And then you realize, dude, you're looking for frickin' rocks. And then it all makes sense again. So, some rocks are shiny, some rocks are not shiny. Okay, it's been a while since since I found a crystal, so we're gonna just look at this thing, see if it's any good. It's okay. It's a good one. It's not the best one I ever found. It's not the worst one I ever found either. Okay, we're here at the Moss Rock. Some of you might know about it. All right, that's the Bigfoot area down there. I'm gonna let you listen to the soothing sounds of the chainsaw for just one moment while I run and grab some things. Okay, I'm back. I'm here with you now. And last time we were at Bigfoot Pocket, we dropped a giant boulder all the way from 2 levels up, and it crashed. It was a loose boulder, some overburden that was pretty far away. But one day I looked up and I thought, wow, 2 levels up, way up there is a gigantic boulder. So I went up there and I touched it a little bit with a steel pole, and it came crashing down to the exact spot where I was sitting when I looked up and thought, wow, there's a giant boulder. So if you ever look up and you see a boulder, trust your instincts. Stay away from that boulder. Keep that boulder the hell off your foot. Everybody's got a foot. So I figure everybody can relate. Just keep it off your foot. Okay, we're gonna look for more tiny gems. Listen, I'm not setting us up for failure with this. All right? I know they're gonna be tiny because it just rained. And that's what we find. Little tiny ones. Here's one. Might be one of the tiniest yet. Look, this is a rock. Then we got this tiny thing. Oh wait, that's dirt. Tiny. I don't care. I'm putting it in my pocket. Know what I'm saying? Not mean. We got some tinies down here too. You know, it's just how it goes. How it goes after it rains. Herkimer County. Yeah, I could gather all this stuff up and sift it, waste a bunch of municipal water, really try to clean it real good, give it a bath. You know, I could just put it in my bathtub, if I was real hardcore, I guess, you know, right? But instead, I do it this way. That's just a broken chunk of a larger crystal. Here's a bunch of calcite crystals that I set up here on this shelf. Some of them might be pretty cool. Oh, here's a little matrix piece. Probably a couple little things in there. Crystals. You know what we're talking about here. This is calcite crystals. That's a peanut. I ain't joking. I don't know where it came from. Chipmunk brought it here. The chipmunk probably thought, oh cool, this is where we're saving stuff. And it put a peanut here. I didn't do that. All right. Well, I'm glad the chipmunk's on board. Maybe it'll bring some crystals. Maybe it already did, and I don't know the difference between chipmunk crystals and crystals I put there. Maybe that's why it left the peanut. Like, oh, hey man, it's my signature. Like the Marines used to leave. Death card. That chipmunk was like, don't mess with me, I'm a chipmunk. All right, we're in Bigfoot now. My feet are not very big compared to the foot. This is a tarp because it rained the other day. The boulder, apparently, I had set it up so that when the boulder flew down the mountain, it would, I really wanted to cut this electrical cord in half. I don't know why. So I left it here on this rock, like this. And this rock is secretly a knife. And I was testing on it, see if it really works, I guess. I don't remember. But now we have a shorter electrical cord. It's shaped like a S for Sean. I can plug my iPhone into it. It's actually shaped like an S for stupid. Never mind. I meant to do that. Oh, wait. Here's a tiny crystal that we just found. Oh, no. Nope. That ain't one of them. Anyway, let's get back to the peanut, because the peanut was a good story. I like it when people name their animals Peanut. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is my snake, Peanut. She's a boa constrictor. This is my pet whale, Peanut. What other interesting peanut animals have I met? I can't think of them right now. I don't think these glasses work anymore. This is some of that Drew's that I really like. It's super shiny and crazy. When that gets cleaned up, that'll be pretty cool. Luckily, there's also a crystal next to it. Unfortunately, I've left all of my tools on a pile of dirt. That's just a piece of a crystal. That's just a piece of a crystal. Man, I could really write some hit songs just... Okay, never mind. Never mind that. I was going somewhere with that, but then I saw a crystal. Now I don't have to do that. Here's a crystal here. It's tiny. My fingernails are dirty. No. Everything is dirty. That might just be a piece of glass. That is a beer bottle from 1983. Oh, I think this is the crystal that I saw. Or is that also a beer bottle? I don't know. I lost it. I lost contact with it. Here's a chunk of matrix that got rained on, and now it's got some cool crystals in there. I guess they were always in there, but I was too dumb to know before. Now I wised up. Here's a crystal. Kind of a chunky thing. I think it's just a piece of another larger crystal that it might even be calcite. Is that calcite? No, I think that's quartz, but it's just a chunk. We're gonna put it right here. Let somebody else wash it. Today's broadcast, live from Rock and Roll, is brought to you by WROX, Radio Free America. We report the rocks. And every once in a while, find a crystal. In the tailings. Sometimes it's a good one. A lot of times it's a tiny baby. But sometimes you find a nice gemmy one that you just happen to throw out of the pocket. Because it's tiny compared to the gigantic ones that you were finding. And that's why you just kind of hang out with your tailings. You have a safety meeting. What the heck? This thing is like weird shape. Flat. It's like square. Okay, well, there you go. That's a pretty crazy crystal shape. All right, I'm gonna clean it off on my jeans. I haven't done very many lives lately because I've been really working on the truck a lot. I'm trying to... Wow, that's crazy. Looks like an ice cube. Okay. The soothing sounds of a chainsaw. What is this thing? Well, we just found that in the ground. I don't know what it is. Probably comes from outer space. Hey, Donna. Your comment is the only comment that I've seen. Holy shit, I need to look at some comments. I just happened to see it. And found this tiny. Here's a tiny. Okay. We're not too concerned. The soothing sounds of a Harley Davidson and a chainsaw. Okay. Here we are back at the harmonic, melodic intonation of the energy of this beautiful crystal, and not the soothing sounds of a Harley Davidson chainsaw and a dog. I don't know what this thing is made out of. I mean, I have the recipe, but I can't make one. You know? A few things in life where you're given the recipe, but like, you just can't make it. Like, okay, here's an example. You got your H, you got your 2, and you got your O. Make me some water. I'll wait. Damn it, I always do that, don't I? You would think that I do it on purpose, but I really don't. I'm not that disappointing. This one is crazy. It's like square. Look, I can't even. My fingers aren't square enough to show you how square this is. You need like a. Why isn't it focusing? Oh my gosh. So that's a good one. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's look at it on the ground, since it wants to be there. In the sun on the ground. I'm sorry, today is just, today is like a musical variety show. I'm super annoying with the moving everything too much. Trust me, I know. I review my own videos, okay, guys? Like, I know. I am the annoying YouTuber. I'm new though, Like I'm still figuring it out, and I have shit equipment. I could have been on HBO, but I chose the hard life. I don't know where I was going with that. I could have had an HBO special, guys, but instead I just sat on the end of the stage and thought about crying. Wait, I'm not Mitch. Some days are Mitch Hedberg days. Some days are Richard Pryor days. Hey guys, I don't know if you can see this. I think I just pulled like a microscope crystal out of the ground. Magnifying glass kind of thing. Let's see if we can see right through the damn thing. All right, well, that's through the crystal. Wait. I can't do it on this phone. I have too many cameras. I got too many cameras. And they're all broken. I don't know what this is. If you know, leave a comment. Okay, let's check out some comments. Man, they keep yelling at me at WROX. Oh, okay, I'm getting back to some comments. And, man, it's kind of hard to read this. screen. Yeah, I've been okay. I've just been working on the truck. Donna's here. So, yeah, not too many comments. All right, good. I'm not too delinquent on my responsibilities. Wow, that is so crazy and square. What a weirdo. All right, great. I love him. I love him weird. I love my crystals like I love my women. I drop crystals a lot easier. This one is, it's so clear that you can't see it and then you drop it. All right, let's see if we can find any more cool stuff. We definitely got we got some crystals here at Rock and Roll. I found some a few times. Here's a pile of, you know, just like Drews and stuff, like chunky stuff that I just threw over here to let it rain and see if anything is going on. See if anything's going on with it. All right, well, that cool clear one was just a little bit of a tip poking out of the tailings in the walkway. My foot definitely swiped that, kind of like how I just did right now. Then it'll rain, and there might be something cool and crazy in there. You never know. We say all the time, anything can happen. Okay. Here's some trash. I have a trash bucket somewhere close. I was wondering where my vampire steak was. You find the darndest things. You know, how did I lose my vampire steak all the way up the mountain? And what are these guys doing under there? Okay, here we have this thing. Guys, don't let me forget the vampire steak. It's on the mountain in the tailings. Just, you know, just remind me, please. Later. We're doing stuff right now, but later, just try to remind me if you can. Hey, Sean, the vampire steak it's up the mountain next to where the crazy, weird-shaped crystals were. Don't forget the vampire steak, all right? Just, if you can. At your earliest convenience. Thank you in advance for your services and your kindness. Okay, we're gonna look for another crystal. I know, it's endless. It's like, you just found one. Why, like, what are you, greedy? You're looking for another one, like, already? Jesus. No, it's just my job. It's my job, okay? I'm not a hoarder or anything. It's just, it's just what I do. I find worms, mostly. I don't know, maybe there's a vampire up here one day and I had a battle. I don't know why I left that up here. Maybe I, just in case, I put it, it's a just in case kind of thing. No, I really need that next to my bed because that's when you need it. There's some of that white druze. It's under there, trust me. We got all kinds of tinies up here. Just hundreds of tinies. I just put them all in my pocket. Hey, remember earlier when the Milipede was riding around on the slug? Yeah, me too. I'd really like to send a shout out to Paul Rubens. There's a crazy piece. Kind of looks like some of that smoky dark. Might just be a piece of crystal. There's another piece of it. Yeah, I'd like to send a shout out to my boy in heaven, Mr. Paul Rubens. You're fucking weird, buddy. Keep it that way. Stay weird, Paul. Everybody loves you. Well, not everybody, but mostly everybody. And that's a pretty good. That's another piece of that same broken smoker. I don't know, it either broke itself up or we smashed it to bits with a friggin' hammer. Probably wasn't me. Sometimes when I say we, I mean them. We're just gonna throw it in the bucket. All right, we're looking around in a bunch of gobbledygook. Dead dinosaur bones. We got some prehistoric squirrels. We got maybe like an iron nail that was forged by some Irishman in 1750. We got a crystal or two. Maybe old bottle. A rusty bucket. Possibly some crazy cool druze just laying there on the ground. Boy, you clean that up and that's a shiner. It's a fat chunk too. It's kind of botryoidal. It's like a lump. Came out of here. I don't know if you guys remember, but we were breaking some cool druze out of this place where I got this cup shoved in there. That's an official way to mark where the druze is. Shove a cup in it. So that way you know We got a high millipede count today. Okay? So if you're out there and you're taking notes on the wildlife, duly note high millipede count. Here's a fat chunk of that same druze that got washed. Let's do this proper. So that's a cool piece. Here are my leather gloves that are just soaked and filled with millipedes now. Maybe a wolf moved in. There could be snakes and an alligator named Peanut. I don't know why I love bruise so much. It's not normal. It's okay. It's not unhealthy or weird. It's fine. Don't put those gloves on. Peanut's in there. This is just a bunch of rocks. But sometimes in the middle of the rocks, there might be something cool. This looks like maybe some kind of chunky fat baby. It's all druzy and stuff in there. There's probably some crystals sitting in this at some point. Let's look around down here. If you're ever looking around down here and you see a funnel spider web, which is exactly what it sounds like. It doesn't look like a funnel cake, so it's easy to know the difference. Even though they have the same name, they're not the same. But if you see a funnel spider web down in there, if you want to be real brave, whatever you do, just don't stick your dick in it. Or your fingy. When I signed up for this channel on YouTube, they said, is this YouTube channel made for kids? And I said, no. No, it's not. I don't make anything for kids. So don't worry. Don't get offended. Some people just don't like kids. I'm here to make adult jokes. See, that's what I really do. This is, I just want to let everybody know that this is really just I'm just standing up, okay? I'm standing up somewhere. It might not be at the bath house. You guys are all just, hey mom. My mom beeps whenever she drives by. It's always my mom. Anytime there's a beep. I'm sure of that. I'm looking for crystals. Listen, guys, sometimes I don't find anything. I have to be constantly on my toes. Because 1 minute, you got 5 viewers, and the next minute, you got 1 viewer. That's where we're at in this game. And if you're not finding stuff, the next minute, man, you're not finding stuff, and there's nobody in the live. We're probably close to that right now, pretty soon. Okay, let's get to some cool nature shots. That's a rock. There's got to be some crystals in here somewhere, but it just looks like a big rock. Really does. I don't know. Sometimes I look at it and I think, wow, there's got to be a lot of crystals in there. Sometimes I look at it and I think, geez, that's a big rock. Wow, big rock. How am I supposed to get crystals out of that? Existential crisis. I don't know what that word means, but that's usually what people say. That's usually what people say. We haven't looked down there yet. Hey, Mom. Wow, she just drove the other. She must have just done a U-turn. I don't know. Maybe pretty sure she knows where my house is. She never stops and brings pizza. She just beeps, but you know, it's the thought that counts. And I especially like it when she beeps a few times on my birthday, and I guess her brakes just don't work anymore. The horn works good though, so that's good. If your brakes don't work, you want your horn to work. Then you just beep, and you just keep it moving, man. Keep going. Here's a baby frog. Probably the babiest frog you've ever seen. I mean, unless you're a frog person and you participate in frog husbandry. But I feel like that's a pretty limited population, and out of the 5 of you that are here, the likelihood of that, I'm not gonna say it's not possible, but this is what we call a mountain frog. You got your pond frogs, you got your, you know, your toads, you got your mountain frog. This one just happens to be the babiest mountain frog. These little guys are usually pretty mellow. They just want to chill. Where is this mountain frog? There he is. Hey, baby. Excuse me. Hey, excuse me, Mr. Frog. Come on, baby. You're just a baby. Okay, so that concludes the baby mountain frog portion of the broadcast. And this is a chunk of a calcite crystal, some drues, and some of the floor of what seems to probably be part of the Bigfoot pocket. And that's a pretty nice chunk of a calcite crystal. Okay. We're gonna keep it moving, see if we got anything in some of this. Listen, guys, I'm sorry that I am literally technically probably the worst YouTuber. Maybe not the worst, top 10. Top 10. But, you know, I mean, you got to get to the top somehow. So I'm just grabbing stuff that I see, like right here in this 1 foot by 1 foot space. and presenting it to you, the viewer, for your discerning approval. Okay, this is what we've found. I think I just maybe lost one. And I did. And it's right here. And now it's further down into the ground than it ever was before. Okay, let's see if we can get that back out of there. Get it clean again. It was perfectly clean. And there we have it. Okay, so there's a couple of tinies. Last night I listed some recently discovered larger pieces on Etsy. Larger pieces, over 100 grams. Gemmy, nice pieces from a couple of the newer pockets. Bigfoot pocket has been kicking out some more from the floor, and gonna have those listed soon. And I'll be connecting the listings with the videos that they were found in. Look at that little golden baby. Oh, where'd it go? Little tiny ones like right here. A little small twin looking thing. Tinies. Just a bunch of tinies right here. Rain washed off last night. Probably 20 little tinies. Some cool, smaller Drew's pieces. And yeah, let's keep it moving. I think there's another one. That might be calcite, but we'll figure that out later. Okay. So there you go. That's what we just found in this 1 foot by 1 foot little area, just from the rain. They're just sitting on the top of the mud, just a little bit shining. All right. Now that we have found the tiniest of the tiny, sounds like we got some thunder. And our last pocket discovery was Thunder Pocket, because we just kept getting rained out. Here's a cool piece of druce that came out with the rain. There's a little one there. These are all so tiny. But it's okay, because at the beginning of today's broadcast and in the middle, we have disclaimers. Let's see if we can find a medium-sized crystal. Well, I'm probably going to look at some comments here in just a moment. So if you think all my jokes are stupid, be sure to leave a comment now, because I'll be looking at the comments soon and I might not go that far back. So if you said that earlier, let's try to say it again. Really underline. Okay. Here's a crystal, and it's also tiny, but it's what we're doing. It's just what we're doing today. Filling our pocket with the tiniest of gems. It doesn't always have to be breaking stuff and finding huge crystals. I don't always find huge crystals. Sometimes I find this crystal nestled between a rock. Well, I mean, I only... That's